Hey y'all, here is your video of your to-do list for this week. As you can see, we are moving on from our previous essay that we were working on. We're moving on from compare and contrast, and we are moving into cause and effect. Here's your to-do list. It's found under topic 5, cause and effect rough draft. And these are the things you need to get done this week. You'll need to read chapter 21 in Models for Writers. That gives you all the things you need to know in order to write a cause and effect essay. Here are the cause and effect essay instructions falling next in your list. We've got some possible topic ideas, and by the way, you are not limited to what is in the list. You may choose anything you like. Let's see, we've got some videos about introductions and that kind of thing in a cause and effect essay. We have a tutorial with a video as well. Let's see, there's a sample student essay that you really want to take a look at, and we're going to look at it together in this video. But you do want to take a second and kind of read through it. But here are the here are the instructions. You're going to write an essay that either looks at a single cause, a single thing, and then 3 effects, or a single effect and the 3 things that caused that effect. So depending on your topic, depending on what you feel is the most important, that's going to determine which one of these choices is the right one for your work. You'll need a thesis of causation, and a thesis of causation is exactly what it sounds like. Your thesis statement needs to lay out, this is the cause that I am looking at, and the effects that came from it, and whichever way that you choose to address it. Let's see, the topic will be your choice. Local and current themes are often the least covered and most interesting. I think that's absolutely true. We don't get a whole lot of students who write about local issues. If you look at local news, you'll see that there's plenty here that you might want to consider as possible topics. A great place to go for this is the opinion section of the local newspaper. We've got information here about cannabis. We've got information here about AI. We've got all kinds of commentary where people are actually talking about these things. So obviously these things are important enough for people to be writing into their newspaper, and for editors in a newspaper to be taking up the discussion. So this is a good place to go to consider topics for this possible essay. You are not limited to the topic ideas that you see here in this link, but that is a great place to start. You might find something there that makes you say, oh, this is close to what I want to write, but it's not quite. And if that's the case, you go for it. When you scroll through these instructions, they're going to look a little different because I forgot to modify this. You need an introduction. It can be 1 paragraph or multiple. You need as many supporting paragraphs as you feel are necessary. You do not have to write a 5-paragraph essay. The 5-paragraph essay is the bane of my existence, and I don't care how many paragraphs are in your essay, just so long as you don't write a 1-paragraph essay that's one lengthy paragraph. You should have one idea to each paragraph. And that's the only thought process that should go into how many paragraphs do I have? You need as many paragraphs as your essay requires, because the point is that you make your argument and you make it clearly. So if you need more than 5 paragraphs to do this, well then by gosh, you take more than 5 paragraphs. and you need a conclusion. You do want to make sure that you write at least 3 full pages, because I don't think that you can adequately address a college level topic without really looking at, 3 or more pages. So make sure that you make your argument clearly and concisely. Make sure that you use your third person point of view and a formal academic tone. Don't directly address your reader. I don't want to see any you, your, rhetorical questions, any of that stuff. If you really have to use first person, that's becoming a little bit more acceptable. So you are, more than welcome to use I, me, my, if absolutely necessary, depending on your topic. But just don't make it a narrative essay. Make sure your transitional work is thorough and correct. Let's see. You need to have 2 sources. It's absolutely fine for you to use any sources that you find using these websites, but you just don't want to cite those websites. So if you were to go to Wikipedia, for instance, and you decided that you wanted to write about climate change, you don't want to cite the Wikipedia article, because anybody can come in here and change it and make it say that climate change is actually caused by, the Muppets or whatever. That's the problem here. But the really good thing is, one of the things about Wikipedia that's really helpful is that there are all of these references at the end. And if you decide that you want to make use of this PDF right here, then yes, definitely make use of this PDF. Just make sure that you cite this PDF. Wikipedia doesn't have to be anywhere in your works cited page for you to make use of the things that you find there. So long as the things that are sourced there are legitimate sourced items, like this, for instance, is a government publication. So, it's okay. The problem comes when people use Wikipedia and then cite the page itself. Don't do that. Use the things that are in the reference page. If you want to use Wikipedia, you are more than welcome to use it to find your sources. Just don't use Wikipedia as a cited source. Include a works cited list. Please don't plagiarize. Please don't use AI. If you want good feedback, I don't mean good. If you want substantive feedback from me, please turn in your work before the due date. Once you get past the due date, it becomes a lot more difficult for me to give substantive feedback. I can give some feedback, but just not as detailed as what I give for a rough draft. And you can see it goes right here. And you want to make sure that you have looked all of these things over so that you know what you're doing and you know that you're doing it correctly. Here's the example paper. We have actually 2 example papers. We have one paper that goes through the effects of something, and then another paper that goes through the causes of something. So depending on which way you want to pursue your topic, that's going to depend on which one of these papers is more helpful. But I think you can also look through these and see kind of, if you read through it and you think, okay, I don't know if I have that much to say about that part of this topic, but I know that I have this much to say about this part of this topic. This can be a really good guiding opportunity here for your decision making. So, make sure that you read through these and you make note of the differences here. For instance, here's our thesis statement of causation. There are various causes for insomnia, but the three most common are physical pain, depression, and anxiety. Excuse me. What we have there is a really acceptable, really good, clear thesis statement. And then if you work through this essay, you'll see that they follow the thesis statement as a map. And they give us, in this body paragraph, we get some discussion of physical pain as one of the primary causes of insomnia. And the next area of discussion is going to be the depression aspect of this, and then anxiety. So you can follow by looking through here. You can see it's color coded. Even you can see where the student is making moves to follow the thesis statement. And then in this other one, putting tasks off to the last minute diminishes people's ability to fully flesh out ideas and goals, makes them miss out on opportunities, and creates negative emotions and feelings. So you can see how this thesis statement, because they're taking a different approach to the topic, the thesis statement is going to look a little bit different. So we've got those two essays you want to look through. And here are two different kind of fill in the blank outlines, and you don't have to turn the outline in. You don't have to do the outline at all. It's there for you to make use of, if it's helpful to you. I personally am not an outliner. I don't do well with an outline, but if I have to do an outline, I can do one. It's just one of those things that I do and then turn it in and don't think about it again, which isn't especially helpful. And I don't want anything that you do for this class to not be helpful. So you don't have to do the outline, but if you get stuck and you're not entirely sure of what's supposed to happen when in the essay or how to go about getting started, you could make use of these outlines to kind of prime the pump and jumpstart your writing. Or you may absolutely feel free to totally ignore them. Here's where you submit your work, like I said, and here's the rubric for it. As you can see, there's only two things here: timeliness and content. Did you turn it in on time, and did you turn in enough work for me to be able to tell if you're on the right track? That's it, because I don't put a grade on an essay that's still cooking, essentially, for want of a better term. So those are your to-do list items for the week. I want you to also be aware that every week you are doing some form of writing or submission of work, and that's how I can tell whether or not you've actually been in class. So I look to see if you have turned in work for that week. And if you have not turned in work for that week, that makes you absent for that week. So I have to then mark you as absent. So just be aware that, not turning anything in or turning in something after the week is over isn't really going to get you a whole lot. And it is indeed going to result in being marked as absent. And the school doesn't give me a whole lot of wiggle room with this, unfortunately. So please be aware of that. All right, that's your to-do list for this week. I hope that you have a lovely week. And please feel free to email me if you have questions about anything or you're running into issues. I am happy to help.